We will discuss about the Global South. The first is the concept and the definition. Global North refers to the countries that are geographically in the northern hemisphere or countries that are economically developed. The term Global North does not relate a geographical region in the traditional sense. Rather, it refers to the relative power and wealth countries in various sections of the globe. The chapter in this section look at how gender is constructed and complicated in the Global North, especially in the United States, Canada, and Belgium. To do so, we must first explore how the Global North or South split emerged in popular consciousness. However, while the Global South as whole is powerful and wealthy, it is not a homogeneous group. Internally stratified and diversified societies mean that not everyone in the Global North is wealthy and powerful. Second is Global South. The Global South, it refers to the countries that are geographically in the southern hemisphere or to countries are developing or economically struggling. The term Global South refers to Latin America, Asia, Africa, and Oceania. As a whole, it is one of a group of phrases that includes Third World and periphery to describe regions outside of Europe and North America that are mostly low income and frequently politically or culturally marginalized. The third is the rise of the South is unmatched in this speed and scale. It claimed it was the story of a remarkable expansion of individual capacities and continuous human advancement in the countries that the house and the great majority of the world inhabitants according to the report. The Global South has taken a number of connotation as meta-category. It does not just apply to land masses and waterways south of the equator, but also the hemispheric south as a whole. Instead, the phrase has come to refer to decolonized countries located roughly south of the traditional colonial power centers. The rise of the Global South. Many countries in the world are referred to as countries in the Global South. Among countries commonly associated with the term are the countries in Latin America. So what the different countries in the Latin America? The first is Mexico, Bahamas, Cuba, Jamaica, Belize, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Venezuela, Guyana, Colombia, Suriname, Ecuador, Peru, Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay, Chile, Uruguay, and Argentina. These are the countries that have colonization in the past.
My name is Car Gonzalez, and my topic is Pacific Alliance and Latin America. What is the purpose of Pacific Alliance? The objective of the Pacific Alliance is to form an area of deep integration that boosts further growth, development, and competitiveness of the economies. It comprises by progressively capital and the people of becoming a platform for economic and trade integration. The Pacific Alliance is a regional initiative created in 2011 by Chile, Colombia, Mexico, and Peru. The alliance's goals are to promote the free movement of goods, services, capital, and the people of the promote greater competitiveness and economic growth in member countries. Latin America can be grouped geographically as a group of countries in South America which share the same language and culture. These social culture characteristics are linked with their common colonizers, Spain and Portugal. Historically, people in this part of the world have colorful political scenes across time as well. Countries in Latin America have been plagued by poverty and the economic instability.
So, ito yung mga example natin. So, this one, his name is Hasta la Victoria Siempre. So, that guy is Guevara. He is the Guevara. So, siya yung nag-lead ng revolution sa bansang Cuba and isa rin siya sa mukha ng revolution sa ating mundo. Also, naging political and fashion icon siya. So, before kasi, Cuba is parang lost in time, ganun siya. Kasi, in our country, or sa ibang bansa, we have a modern buildings, cars, and halos lahat bago. Pero kasi sa Cuba, the cars are very old and the buildings are very old then. So, halos lahat ng bagay na ginagamit nila is parang luma na siya. So, next is the political scenes sa ibang bansa. So, itong nasa kanan, isang protest sa isang jail sa Mexico. So, pulisya ang tawag dyan sa Mexico. So, sa atin, polisiya, pero sa kanila, pulisya. So, while yung mga nasa kabila naman is sa Ecuador na nagrarally. So, through the years of time, talagang ang mga bansang ito parang have been experiencing political stability kasama na dun yung mga economic stability. Bakit natin hina-highlight yung Latin America to describe the Global South? Kasi po, in 2016, the Morgan Stanley economists articulated that Latin America plays a role in accelerating the global economy. So, Brazil and Argentina managed to stand up from economic turmoil. Economists highlighted that politics and policy choices remain significant in determining economic growth in the area. So, sinasabi dito na napakahalaga ng politika at polisiya upang baguhin ang estado ng isang bansa or isang estado na kinabibilangan mo. So, do you think if we have good leaders, are we or we will advance to be a global country north or to be a global north country?
So, good day everyone. I am Kyla Himor. For today, I will discuss about what is Asian regionalism. First, what is Asia? Asia is a region and the largest and the most diverse continent in the world. As Asia grows and prospers, its economies are increasingly vital to each other and to the world. Led by a team of ADB staff, scholars, and advisors to regional policymakers, this study highlights what is at stake, the emerging Asian regionalism, and lays out the ground for further discussion on how to move forward. And next is regionalism. Regionalism is a political ideology that favors a specific region over a greater area. Regionalism is a political focus on one specific area of a country. In the US, the perceived difference between Southerners and New Englanders is one example of a regionalism. Regionalism is the development of political and economic systems based on loyalty to distinct geographic regions. Regionalism often results in formal political or economic arrangements between groups of countries intended to achieve common goals. Regionalism is defined as a political ideology that favors a specific region over a greater area. It is usually result due to political separations, religious, geography, cultural boundaries, linguistic regions, and managerial divisions. And next is I will discuss about Asian regionalism. Asian regionalism is a consciousness of and loyalty to a distinct region with a homogeneous population, developed development of a political or social system based on one or more such areas, emphasis on regional, local, and characteristic in art or literature. Asian regionalism context and scope. Asian regionalism is the product of economic interaction, not political planning. As a result of successful outward-oriented growth strategies, Asian economies have grown not only richer but also closer together. Asian regionalism start since the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC Forum began in 1989 as a regional institution for economic cooperation. Momentum for regionalism in Asia has gradually developed and led to institutionalized regional process. The importance of regionalism is encourages local governments to pool resources, talent, and efforts. Collaborating in this way creates more effective planning that all governments, both big and small, can participate in. It also creates a larger budget to deliver stronger results. The challenges of Asian regionalism was the global economic crisis, which had a mixed impact on Asian regionalism. On one hand, it spurred calls for regional action, much in the way of the financial crisis that hit Asia hard in 1997 to 1998. How does Asian regionalism help the Philippines? ASEAN is one of the cornerstones of the Philippines' foreign and trade policies. This is manifested in the Philippines' policy to promote a more peaceful, stable, and free Southeast Asia through the pursuit of different initiatives in the policy, making economic, trading, and functional cooperation activities.
So now, for the continuation of our lesson, what is globalization? The globalization is a process by which people are unified into a single society and function together. Globalization is a process by which business or other organizations develop international influence or start operating in an international scale. So, what is free market? A free market is an unregulated system of economic exchange that requires no tariffs or just minimal. So we all know a tariff is a tax imposed by one country on the goods and services imported from another country. So, what is multiculturalism? A multiculturalism is the view that cultures, races, and ethnicities deserve special acknowledgement of their differences within a dominant political culture. It is a situation in which all the different cultural or racial groups in society have equal rights and opportunities, and none is ignored or regarded as important. So why do countries form regional associations? These countries form regional associations or organizations because of number one, military defense. The North Treaty Organization or NATO was formed to protect Europe from the threat of the Soviet Union. Number two, countries for regional associations because of economic crisis. The Association of Southeast Asian along with China, Japan, and South Korea established an emergency fund that stabilized Asian economies after the rippling effect of Thai economies collapse. So number three, because of resources, countries from regional associations because of resources. Countries need to pool their resources together to make themselves more powerful. The organizations of the petroleum exporting countries rose in power when they took over domestic production and controlled crude oil prices across the globe. So those the reasons why countries from regional organizations because of military defense, economic crisis, and resources. It is their way to cope up with the challenges of globalization. As a conclusion, Asian regionalism is the product of economic interaction and not political planning. Did you enjoy our lesson today? So thank you for listening and have a good day.